meeting of the Maine Township Board. We are together for our meeting here, but I think the first thing we need to do is say the pledge
of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. May I have a roll call?
Assessor Cry, Highway Commissioner Bouvet, here. Clerk Giovanni is here. Supervisor Diamond,
Here.
Trustee Jones,
Here.
Trustee Horvath, Trustee Maher, here. Trustee Malik.
All right, so we have on the phone right now one of our trustees who is not able to attend in person. I spoke with Kelly Corbett this afternoon, and she informed me she was not feeling well and not able to get to the meeting. We do have a quorum here in person, and I understand that under our policy, such a person as Kelly is right now may attend remotely if there is a vote in favor of allowing her to do so. So this would be under section 2-98. Which states that vote may be taken to permit remote participation for a student series of meetings, or actually I think it would be just for this meeting. So do I have a motion to allow Kelly Corbett to attend this meeting remotely?
Motion to allow Trustee Corbett to attend this meeting remotely.
Second. All right, all in favor, or would you do a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
All right, fine, thank you very much. And what I'd like to do is make sure that Kelly can participate. Jim, would you say something? I just want to make sure she can hear you.
Good evening, Ms. Kelly Corbett.
Hi, Jim.
All right. And I want to ask if the members at the rear of the room can hear Kelly Corbett. Kelly, would you just say something?
Hello, everybody.
Okay. And I'm asking Ariel if she's picking that up on the tape too.
The signal's showing strong here. I'm trying to get on my phone, so but I'll let you know.
Okay, you'll let me know if there's any problem?
Yes.
All right, fine. Thank you very much. Okay, all right, so we will proceed. Okay, let's do a good on our agenda. First, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Before we go to that matter,
Yeah.
I'm asking that we postpone that to later in the agenda after number 7. Not because I disagree that the minutes accurately reflect what happened. It's because I had 2 issues with a vote that was taken after closed session that I want to clarify before I vote on approving it. And I think we can cover it tonight if we have to, and then at item 7. So I'd like to postpone that until after item 7, until we discuss the 2 votes that were taken at the last meeting.
Okay, maybe you'll explain that when we get later in the agenda, but we can pass that for now. All right, we'll move to number 2, approval of the general assistance expenditures. Do I have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of July 5th, 2024 and July 19th, 2024, and general assistance checks 55,437 through check number 55467 in the amount of $41,931.45.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Abstain.
And Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Thank you very much. We're going to item number 3. Do I have a motion to approve the road district expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of July 5th, 2024, and July 19, 2024. Road district checks number 23497 and check number 23543 in the amount of $111,525.17.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to number 4. Approval of general town fund expenditures. Do I have a motion to approve the general town fund expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of July 5th, 2024 and July 19th, 2024.
I'll second it, by the way.
General town fund checks 61154 through check 61231 in the amount of $330,478.68.
Seconded, yeah. Sorry, I pulled the trigger too quick.
Okay.
Gotta wait first, but sorry.
Any discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Discussion.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to number 5, public participation.
$10 can help fund powerful ads to reach.
My apologies. We got a streaming interruption on the live stream. The microphone went out.
All right, so are there any requests for public participation? And I see the answer is no, there are none this evening. Okay, then we'll move on to old business. The first thing on our agenda is update on the little library. And Kelly, did you want to tell us where we're at with that? I think you've been doing a little work on that.
Yes, so I was able to get the 2 little libraries that were donated and have sort of sanded them down and primed them, so that they were already like painted with some design. So I'm just sort of in the process of getting, like, I still have to put on another coat, and I want to try to make them look as much like our buildings as possible, but they're in really good shape, and so I'm plugging along.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right, we'll go on to our next item, which is discussion and vote. Yeah. It was at the same time we get some votes. The next item is discussion and vote on resolution to allow the adoption of work-from home programs. Now, you may recall this was on last month's agenda, and the discussion that we had revolved around the language of how it should be discontinued, if that should happen. So, what I thought you would like me to do, or what I thought you wanted me to do, I listened to the tape, but still wasn't entirely clear. The provision of starting the program is mirrored in the provision for discontinuing it. So in order to start such a program, it may be, it may be adopted for a department upon the recommendation of the department head and the township administrator and the approval of the board of trustees. It may be discontinued upon the recommendation of the department head and the township administrator and the approval of the board of trustees. So whether you're starting it or ending it, it hinges upon the approval of the board of trustees. Jim, I think that's what you were looking for, is that correct?
I think so, yes. Thank you for reminding me.
All right.
I have my, misgivings about work at home in general, however. I wasn't sure it's perfect. I know that if the board considers that the right thing to do, then
Well, it's up to individual departments. So far, only one of our departments does it. So.
yeah, I had an issue just with the wording, as I recall, the resolution.
All right. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the resolution? This is 2024-8.
Motion to approve resolution number 2024-8.
Second. Jim?
Kelly seconded?
Oh, Kelly can second it.
I'll second it.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Is there any further comments or discussion? All right, make a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Abstain.
How do we get this signed when someone's attending remotely? Do you know? Okay, is that what we should do? Okay. All right, Kelly, we're going to ask you to stop in and sign it later on, if you would,
Okay.
please, okay?
I can do that, yeah.
All right, please make a note of that, if you would.
Okay.
All right, thank you. discussion and possible vote on, just one second, when Jim is abstaining, should I write that on there? Okay, I'll just write abstain. And for us, I can write absent. All right. So Kelly, please do attend to that when you read your.
Okay.
All right. Yes. All right, fine, okay, sorry. Possible discussion and possible vote on fund balance policy. Now, some of you may remember we had this policy on our agenda for 2 years ago, and at the time, we just decided not to adopt it. Our auditors have encouraged me a couple times in the past 2 years to bring this to the board and adopt a fund balance policy. So here it is. I don't have any strong feelings about this one way or the other, but Ed, I think you had some feelings about this, though. Is that correct?
I just, if it's not a requirement under the Illinois statutes or a requirement under law, I guess I'm wondering why they are pushing so hard for us to adopt this policy. And my only, as I said in my email, my only perspective on this is I feel that if there's an emergency or something that requires a lot of funds on the roadway for any utility issue underneath the roadway, I don't want to be put in a position where I'm violating my own policy. So I just don't feel that it's necessary for the highway department to sign on board, but regarding, town hall, that's up to the board.
In response to a couple things you said, Ed, I don't think there's any statute which requires us to have such a policy. Of course, there is the 2.5 law that does bind us as far as the maximum. But I don't think there's any law that requires us to set a minimum amount. I think our auditors encourage us to, because I think ASB, the general accounting principles will want us to have one. So that's really all I can say about that.
Okay.
So any other thoughts around this?
I remember them bringing it up, last month, the auditor, which we work, but do we have a suggestion of what the minimum should be?
No, I think because we asked him, he said it varies. Boards set different amounts, it could be 6 months worth of expenses, it could be a year. I mean, I suppose you could do as little as 3 months, but I don't know if you want to get it down to that amount. So I think what he said is different boards have different minimums. So I mean, we could set it at 1 year worth of expenses, 1 times the annual average expenditure of the previous 3 years, which we would have 1 year cushion. But I'm open to whatever you want to suggest.
Sounds to me like a security blanket is one of these, basically, a minimum balance in case of emergencies. Even if the law doesn't require it, if we think it's not going to bind us in any way as far as spending goes, I'm not really against it. I don't have strong feelings against it. But it sounded like it was recommended by our auditor as a security blanket, basically, so we have a minimum amount. So
I wouldn't want to go less than 1 year worth of the times annual average expenditure. I wouldn't want to go less than a year of expenditures.
Yeah.
But I don't have any strong feelings either way.
I would say when you sort of use a guide to what, boards in the future, what we think, that doesn't mean they couldn't change it.
Right.
But it's, what our thoughts were on how much of a, cushion we should have. We have a pretty good cushion right now.
Right.
But I'd like to keep a good cushion.
Right.
So, if you want to make a motion for one time, the cushion, we could do that.
does our attorney have any advice on that from other townships that you might be familiar with, Kurt?
Again, this is more of like an accounting practice than a legal issue, so it's really more of what you feel comfortable with having here. So it's really not a hard and fast legal issue.
Okay,
like a good compromise since we sort of are not really sure what to do. I think that's a good plan.
All right, so what I'm going to do with this policy is I'm going to cross out.
Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to VR Download.
So that it applies only
Hopefully you saw our
to
showcase yesterday.
Okay.
And it's on our channel with a lot of
All right. Okay, let's move on. Our next new business, discussion and vote on 12 month.
Do we do a motion on that one?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. That's right. Would you please do a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Bach?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now to the new business, discussion and vote on a 12-month maintenance agreement for copier and printers. Would you mind going over to the microphone, in case we have some questions about this?
All right, so in your board packet, it's going to look, you have a memo in here, and then it looks like this. And then behind it is going to be the actual quotes. Perfect. All right, so let's see. So we have on the agenda, as you saw, a 12-month maintenance agreement for copiers and printers for discussion and vote. Since 2019, Maine Township has had 3 black and white Kyocera copiers, 1 color Kyocera copier, and 11 Kyocera printers. Due to the age of these items and the volume that we use them, we need a maintenance agreement to cover the service, replacement parts, and toner necessary to operate them. I reached out to 5 companies. I was able to get quotes from 3 different vendors, which you see listed on the memo. The quotes are based on the annual volume that we do on the devices for unlimited color and black and white prints. It also takes into consideration the age of the devices. The first one we received is from Pulse Technology. That's our current vendor this year. Based on everything, they quoted us for the year at $795 per month. The next quote we received is from Warehouse Direct. They were the vendor that we used in 2022 and 2023 for this service. And they actually came in at less than we're paying now at $682 per month. And so that's a total of $8,184 per year, and that includes loaner units at no charge. Should there be a delay, I know we had a delay this year where we couldn't get parts for a few weeks. When there's delays with getting parts or toner or anything like that, they actually can bring a loaner device so that we're not down. So that, and then the last quote that I received was from Sharp Business Systems. Unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to cover the copiers. They did offer us a cost per image quote just for the printers, but I don't really think, I wanted to include that to have kind of a well-rounded look at what's out there, but I wouldn't consider that for this, just because we're looking at, the main thing is covering these large devices. So based on those quotes and based really on the loaners as well, I would recommend that we go with Warehouse Direct. We do, we use them for a lot of our IT, and we use them for, actually we are using them right now for also our coffee and beverage service too, so, yeah.
I would say that they are very responsive.
Yeah.
During our recent good problem that we had, was it a week ago, 2,
We did have the CrowdStrike hit here, yeah.
They were out here immediately.
Yeah, we were on the phone like 8, they were on it before, it was 8 in the morning, they had a plan in place and we're fixing it, so, yeah. And what's nice too is that having it be the same, not that we haven't had a wonderful experience with Pulse, it's not, they're also a great vendor for this, but having that, having the IT company also working on the scanning copying functions of the copiers sort of goes hand in hand too, so it's, another benefit.
Pulse raised a lot.
We had a lot of things replaced this year, so I think they know, we make a lot of copies, so.
So John Spade, who's the often comes out from Warehouse Direct. He's so familiar with our office, when he comes out, he makes the coffee for everyone.
Is that a good thing? I mean, they're so familiar with the office.
I don't know. He knows his way around. Anyway, so, all right. So you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion to approve the contract with Warehouse Direct?
Motion to approve the annual maintenance agreement for service replacement parts and toner for copiers and printers for Warehouse Direct, $682 per month, $8,184 per year, and it includes toner units at no charge.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kelly.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All right, may roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And then, do you want me, but I get the actual verbiage in the full contract, is that something we've done enough that it's okay if we go ahead and approve, or do you want me to pass it on to Nancy Link for review?
But
See if it matches older ones.
Why don't you give it to me and I'll.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next one on our agenda is discussion of emergency funding needs. So we have in our packet a memo regarding our new agency and program coordinator, Ian Parker, and he's given us some dates that administration has open. So I looked at these dates. I think I can make, as of now, it looks like I can make all these dates. Are there any dates that any of the board members cannot make? And Kelly, you can speak up anytime too.
Sure. Wednesdays are typically not good for meetings. You have to work late most
All right.
times.
What days are Wednesdays? 9th?
That's
October.
November 6th.
October 9th and November 6th. Okay. All right. What about the remaining dates?
My calendar's in my car.
Those are out of your meeting.
Just guess.
I mean, I think, you know, my schedule's pretty open.
And it's 2 that we need to pick right
I
here.
don't know. What about one in September and then one in October?
That's fine.
September 17th and then,
Jim, did you want to pass this and go out and get your calendar?
It's whatever's convenient. I could run out and get it real quick, or I could just pick the later dates, and I don't think I'll have issues with, if I change
Do
this.
you think any of the dates will be okay with you? Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
I'm going to go later rather than earlier, just in case, so I'm not going to pick September 17th, but I guess I would pick the latter of the dates, so maybe, I'm thinking it should be available on October 22nd, 24th, and November 6th, on any of those days, so that's what I'm guessing. But I can go get the calendar at a convenient time right now, but I don't want to slow anything.
So we need 2 funding dates is what I'm seeing. Is that correct, Ariel? All right, so October 22nd. Well, I don't want to make 22nd and 24th. That's
two in the same.
really not wrong.
Number 2,
I want to slow everything
eight
down.
or something, and then
Okay. Jim's going to go get his calendar, so we're just going to
Thanks, Jim.
take
We're
a.
moving pretty easy.
Okay.
I'm not running, it's spreading.
All right.
All right.
October 15th. Okay.
yeah, it's not an option.
Which one?
October 15th.
October 15th.
Not an option.
Okay, I'm pressing that up.
Oh, no, we can't do that. And did you say the board meeting is? On the 29th. On the 29th, okay.
October, wait. Oh, yeah, October 29th. Yeah, that would be the following meeting. Anyone have any announcements or anything they'd like to make?
National Night Out, next Tuesday.
National Night Out, yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're all pretty much ready for that.
We're pretty much ready, yeah, 6:30 PM next Tuesday. The weather looks good. Ready to roll?
Okay, all right. Okay, I've sent out an email to department heads about that. I think they're all pretty familiar with how everything's done.
Volunteers show up at 5:30 for pizza. Start opening ceremonies at 6:30 with the presentation of colors, singing of the national anthem.
Sorry, we didn't have time to prepare.
Darn it, we'll go back.
October 15th is good for me, October 24th, November 6th, September 1st. October 1st, you mean?
September 17th or October 1st.
I don't want to do September 17th. But the next day.
October 1st?
Let's see. October 1st should be fine. It's okay with everyone.
And then, what's your second choice?
I think I said October 24th was a good day for me, I think. But the 22nd would work as well, I think. It's convenient for anybody else.
All right, why don't we do the 22nd?
Okay.
So then we'll actually have 3 meetings in October, agency day, October 1st, agency funding on October 22nd, and the board meeting October 29th. So those will be 3 Tuesdays in October. Got that? All right. Mary Ellen, are you marking this down by any chance? All right, thank you very
Anyone
much.
in favor of that November 6th date?
I don't think we need another one, do we?
No, but I meant in lieu of 3 in October. So that's not all 3 in October, maybe 1 in November and 2 in October.
Well, all right.
November 6th, Kelly can't come.
Yeah, oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's it here.
Oh, all right, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Besides, we have our school conference in Springfield. That would take a few days too.
We usually start at 6, right?
We do start at 6. All right, great. So we have those dates down.
So to refresh, October 1st, October 22nd, and October 29th, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next one, which is discussion and possible vote on approval of the roofing contract. So the operative word here is possible. Why not actually get the voting tonight? Because we did open up the bids. Pete, did you want to talk about that last Friday?
Yeah, I think we had a total of 6 or 7, right? 7 coming in. They ranged, there was relatively close range, but a little bit of a discrepancy from like the upper 90,000 up to I think about 140 was the top end one. You know, the scope of work is all going to be the same for them. So generally when you get bids like that, you're going to go with the lowest possible bid and you know, go from there.
So I think our consultant is now going through the bids very carefully, just to make sure that you comply with the requirements and making sure they're all responsible bidders, although they probably are. They did some pre-qualification work too. So, but we don't actually have any contract yet. So that we hope to have at the next meeting. And I talked to Kurt preliminarily what we'd like to see in that contract. So look for that on next month's agenda. All right, and thanks Mike too, who was there helping some of the bidders climb up and down off the roof so that they could personally inspect it to see what the problems were. So thank you. All right, okay, the next item, they all relate to, there's 3 different documents, they all relate to renting a van from Pace. And there are a lot of hoops one has to jump through to do this, which I've been working on. First thing that we have is the Municipal Vehicle Program Agreement. And I sent this out to you a few months ago just to look at a blank one. And what you have in front of you now is a filled out agreement and application to rent one van from them. And we pay $100 a month to do that. And we can get out of the contract at any time with 30 days notice. So, you know, I think that, you know, we can try it out if it works. If it doesn't, we can stop doing it. So, we will, you know, have to hire a driver. We're not going to do that until we actually get the van. But we've got a position description completed. So all we have to do is post it and hire. So again, I think think it's a fairly, safe venture to, it's not a lot of money that we're spending, and it's something that we can get out of this agreement pretty quickly if we decide it's not for us. So, do I have a motion to approve entering into this municipal vehicle program agreement?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Kelly, thank you. All right, is there any questions or comments regarding this agreement?
Which department handles the payment for it? Is it maintenance? Who's going to be handling that?
Payment for, what do you mean?
Yeah, who's going to be handling these rental opportunity?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna be like, they do the maintenance. But there are certain daily maintenance that we're responsible for. Like the driver is supposed to go through a checklist in the morning and check to make sure that there's gas, that there's oil, that there's other fluids. So they do a little checklist. They provide the actual maintenance.
They do mostly everything.
Yeah.
We're a little bit, okay. All right, thanks.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding the agreement? Okay, may I have?
Kurt's looked at it, right? Kurt's looked at it. You mentioned
Oh,
it.
yes,
Right?
it's a standard base agreement.
Okay, and we get to cancel at any time, Terrence.
We do, right, 30 days.
Very good, 3 days. Okay. Mention it, thank you.
We have a roll call meeting.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
All right, thank you. The next thing we have is the next thing which is related to the bus program. And this is a document which is required by PACE. This is regarding a PACE drug and alcohol policy and testing program for township employees performing safety-sensitive functions for the PACE vehicle program. Which means it doesn't apply to all our employees. It would only apply to safety-sensitive positions like the driver. Anyone who's working on the bus project. So what is it required? There's a lot of pages here, but when I went through it, if you look at page 8, I think it is, it pretty much tells you what the driver.
Attached to resolution 2024-9, right?
Yes, yes. There's 10. There's 10.
Okay.
There's 10. Yeah, they're actually switched in order, Jim. I've got in the packet, I've got 09 after 10, but it's the 10 one. But if you look at page 8, it just talks about it talks about the prohibitions against drivers can't use illegal drugs or possess controlled substances while they're at work, can't have it in their system while they're reporting to work, so forth. And you see the alcohol rules also there too. So these are basically the rules that apply to our drivers, and this is required by PACE. So. Would anyone like to make a motion to adopt this resolution? This is the resolution regarding PACE, drug and alcohol testing policy.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-10, adopting the PACE drug and alcohol policy testing program.
Second.
All right. Any questions or comments on this resolution?
My only question is 2024-9 is a different one that we don't really need to consider in any order, right?
Right. I'm sorry, I just had them switched in order in your packet, so.
Rule it different.
All right. Okay, hold on.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
And actually, when I'm thinking about it, when I was talking with Case, Ed, I said, well, what testing agencies do I use or do I contact? And they said, contact your highway department.
Yeah, we have drug testing random drug testing for our employees.
And that's provided by an agency. Can you
Yeah,
give me that information
I'll
later
forward
on?
you the contact.
Okay, thank you very much. let's move on to the next one, which is the third and final resolution relating to the buses. And this is a resolution regarding adopting PACE system security and emergency preparedness plan. This is something else they require, and it's how we are expected to respond in various emergencies. For instance, if you're looking through the appendices, Appendix D is what do you do in a bomb threat? Appendix E is an emergency telephone directory, grant information, tips on reporting criminal activity. So it really relates to what do you do in various emergencies and what does PACE expect you to do. So do I have a motion to adopt a resolution whereby we adopt PACE's system security and emergency preparedness plan?
Motion to approve resolution number 2024-9, a resolution adopting the PACE system security and emergency preparedness plan.
Can I have a second? All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay. I mean, there's some interesting provisions in here. This would apply to just our PACE employees, I believe, but it's something we might want to look at, just sort of more broadly speaking, to the entire office. But again, this relates to the PACE program. Okay. Roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, Kelly, if you would, when you fill come in and sign these that you voted on tonight, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
I could drop it off at her house on the way home.
That's okay. So, I'd like to just keep it here.
Sure.
And I don't lose the sign line.
No worries.
Okay, all right. Then, last on our new business agenda is discussion, and Jim, this is your request.
Right.
Discussion of, this is township policy and voting on matters found in closed session, which were not either listed on the agenda or fully discussed during open session. So, can you tell me, tell us what we think, what you mean by this?
Sure. The reason why I asked to postpone the approval of last month's meeting minutes is because I felt like I was uncomfortable with what happened at the last meeting when we voted on two issues that I don't think were thoroughly listed on the agenda or discussed on the agenda. And those two issues were the vote on the approval of a new position, and one was a Marty issue, whether he should hire someone in his department, and one was to hire this PACE bus driver on a bus we're going to rent in the future. I took a look at a reference guide to the Illinois Opens Meetings Act, and I found it on the internet. It says the following, that the requirement of a regular meeting agenda does not preclude the consideration of matters not specifically on the agenda, but a public body may not vote on a matter that was not on the agenda. It's section 2-02A. This Open Meetings Act is not a model of clarity. It's not real specific. And, well, it's not as short and sweet as it should be, in my opinion. But so I think we should have a policy on whether we're going to vote on things after closed session when people are not here who were here during open session. And we're really, I'm not casting any blame or aspersions or whatever, but I thought that number 11 on the last agenda said possible vote on approval of new position. It didn't clarify that it was 2 votes really and not 1. Also, there was some discussion in closed session about a limit to the term of the new position that was going to be hired in Marty. That definitely wasn't discussed. I think it was this 1 year was the limit on this person that's going to be hired. So, and I just wanted to get an idea of what everyone thinks about in the future, whether we should be voting after closed session when people might not be here on the last session. Obviously, Kelly wasn't here, and Asif wasn't here, and especially if it's not specifically on the agenda. So that's my only concern, and I'm glad it's on the agenda for today, the same 2 issues, so we could always redo that. I noticed on tonight's agenda, those same issues are listed, so we could redo what happened on the last meeting. For example, on tonight's agenda, it says vote on part-time hiring for Recovery Connection and vote on creation of a new part-time position, which presumably is this bus driver that's going to drive the base bus. So that's my concern. I'm glad Kurt's here to get his opinion on the Open Meetings Act. I know there's exceptions to the Open Meetings Act. There are things you can discuss for the first time in closed session. There's a big laundry list, and but I don't think those two are on the list. There's some language that says that you can vote on issues that affect existing employees, right? Open Meetings Act, subsection C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. So does that mean that we should be, fronting all these issues that are going to be voted upon? So that's my concern. Whether we should have a policy on whether we should be voting on things that aren't specifically on the agenda, so that we make sure everyone has a chance to discuss it with the voting members, but also so that the public, if there are people listening, they have the right to hear what we have to say on the vote that we're going to take. And the second issue would be whether a closed session is always going to be necessary at each and every meeting. I'm not sure that that's an issue we've ever discussed. I don't mind doing closed session, but sometimes is it necessary that we always do a closed session? And so that's why I asked it to be on the agenda. And I suggest that we're going to have a policy, it should be that we should definitely list anything that we're going to potentially take a vote on the agenda. There is a possibility that there's going to be a vote on that issue, whether or not before or after a closed session.
Okay, let's see, what was the last, I'm trying to remember. You said everything. The last thing you said was, is it always necessary to have a closed session? Well, it is if we're selecting a particular individual and going through resumes as we did last time.
Right.
And as we will again tonight. So, let's see, yeah. So, the board has chosen that it wants to make the decision on hiring. So we do need to have closed sessions before we hire someone so the board can go through resumes. It's done in a couple of meetings, 2 or 3 meetings in the past 6 months or so. And also sometimes we do have litigation to talk about. And sometimes we do have disciplinary to talk about. So that's something I need to put on the agenda when it occurs. In terms of specificity, we could try and be a bit more specific. If that's something that you'd like to see.
I think Kurt might advise us that we have to be specific when we're going to vote on things. We can't vote on things that aren't on the agenda.
That's true. You can't, if it's not on there, you can't vote on it. You do have to list the general subject matter. So that's what has to be on the agenda. And then before you take the vote, you have to announce, the main key points essentially, whatever you're going to be voting on. So, having that language on the agenda about creating new positions, that's the general subject matter. When the motion's more specific about what it is, then we're, at least I think, complying with the Open Meetings Act. But, technically, whether or not we want to vote on things after closed session, that's a policy decision for the board. Legally, you can do that, again, as long as it's on the agenda, and there's a general description there. Whether or not the board wants to do that in the future, that's a decision up to the board. That's a policy decision.
Okay. So, in light of that, my suggestion would be to re-vote on those matters that were voted on the last meeting. Now that we have 4 voting members instead of just 3, and especially since they're on the list. So thank you for putting them on the list. For example, those 2 exact same issues are on tonight's agenda list. So we could always rediscuss them and re-vote on them, instead of approving the minutes from the last meeting where they weren't listed nor discussed at all.
Well, I think one thing that is different is tonight we're voting on a particular part-time employee for Recovery Connection. Last time we were voting on creating a position. So it is a different matter which is on tonight. Vote on creation of a new part-time position. That is different, although it actually refers to a different position, a different new part-time position than is anticipated we were talking about. So, again, issues are a little different, but
I think we did have on the last agenda, a line item for an action item after closed session for possible votes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Number 11.
Yes.
That's right. These are the words that were on the agenda. Possible vote on approval of new position. However, in closed session, that was not limited to that one issue. There were two issues discussed. Whether Marty was going to hire someone and with a one-year deadline, with a one-year limit, and whether or not we were going to hire this bus driver. So there's two issues, not one. And there's no specifics at all on the agenda. So my theory is we should be more specific in the agenda in the future. And we can easily clarify it tonight by rediscussing it and re-voting on it.
I wouldn't recommend voting on it again tonight if we're going to do that, just because again, it's not, we don't have something specifically on the agenda for that unless we think it's part of that. And plus, I think I would recommend the motion that to be ratification and not a new vote. Just if we think that's something we need to do, ratify the actions taken by the board at the last meeting on those two points. Wouldn't be really voting on all of the work things.
Okay. That's fine with me, especially if we discuss it real briefly and that everybody's on board.
So, all right, I think that brings us back to the minutes. And we passed that. Is there something that you feel the minutes did not reflect correctly what was done at the last meeting?
No, as I said in my speech there, I just wanted to, I voted on it, so I should have caught that. But, right, other than that, the minutes are fine. That's exactly what happened. So.
All right, okay. Then do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes, I'll move to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
Okay, all right. And any discussion on that? All right, make a roll call then.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Abstain.
Trustee Mata?
Yes.
All right, so we're at official reports now. Ed, actually, you have some good news to share. Can you tell us more about the details of that?
Sure. So real quick, I just wanted to say, July was crazy, but thank you for everyone who came out to Taste the Park Ridge, 4th of July Parade, Market After Dark, just a ton of things happening in July. So thank you for everyone who helped out with that. Regarding the good news that Supervisor Diamond was speaking of, we were notified this week by Cook County that we were awarded the Invest in Cook grant, which is $425,000 for improvements along Church. So that's going to be new sidewalks installed along Church, connecting Greenwood to Potter to the west. So areas that don't have sidewalk, including Park Ridge, right now we're working through an IGA to hopefully include their section of sidewalk and then ultimately turn over the sidewalk to them to own and maintain. And then also to improve signage, visibility, and a bike lane along Church. So I made a goal for the highway department personally to try to get $1 million in grants this year. And if we get the Quigley grant in the next month or two, that's going to push us up to 1.2 million in grant funding that we've received. So we're doing pretty good. And the projects, the residents should start noticing those improvements in the next. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go to construction this year due to the funding release, but come winter time, we'll be able to go out to bid, hopefully, for that project for the springtime. So that's it. I'm just looking forward to National Night Out next week. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Can you tell us the Church Street bike lanes? Where will that end and start?
So it's going to start at Greenwood, and then it's going to go to the county road, Potter.
To Potter Road?
Potter Road, so people will be able to access, come down Church to be able to access the Cook County Forest Preserve.
Okay, all right. So that'll be great. There are bike lanes through Niles on Ballard. So if there was some way to just sort of like connect up to church a little bit, maybe some bike lane or something there, that would be great for cyclists.
Yeah, oh yeah, well, dealing with IDOT versus our roadway versus us in Park Ridge, I think it's a little bit easier to get done. But
Is Greenwood an IDOT road?
Greenwood is a county road.
Oh, it is.
So it actually worked out because during the investing Coke talks, we were talking to the village planner, or to the county planner who was going to be involved in that. It's going to require some improvements along at that crosswalk on Greenwood to put a pedestrian push box for them to be able to cross. But that could all be worked out with the county. So hopefully it moves forward quicker than slower, but we'll see.
Okay, that's terrific. All right.
Yeah, just reiterate what Ed said. It was a crazy busy month in July. Taste of Park Ridge was great as always. And I can't believe we're already stepping into August here. So see everybody at National Night Out.
Kim?
Yes, again, very busy. We went to 2 4th of July parades, which went off very well. Well attended, and everybody seemed to be having a nice time, beautiful weather. Great way to celebrate our independence. And then went to National Night Out poster contest, which was great, and was at the Health and Wellness Fair. So it was a busy month, but all good things. Then one comment I want to make is on the page behind the agenda, it says National Night Out July 31st, but actually it is...
And I've got to give you the updated one, because I found out later after the distribution was done already. So it's, my calendar is on the 6th.
It's a 7. Yeah, so, National Night Out is August 6th, and Neighborhood Watch is August 7th.
Yes.
Right. So, just want to extend an invitation once again to our Neighborhood Watch meeting, and hopefully we'll have a good attendance, and people can catch up on what is going on in the neighborhood. That concludes our report.
Thank you.
I have nothing additional.
Yeah. All right, so we have the health fair, actually. You were at the, oh, I'm sorry, Kelly, you got anything there? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just about doing what people have said. I did really enjoy the health and wellness fair this past weekend. It was actually a lot of really interesting groups that I didn't know existed, so I took some information, and then also I'm excited to go to National Night Out, so I'll see everybody there.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so, we did have the health fair, we encouraged the 2 parades, we sent Jenny to represent us at 2 different farmers markets. We're going to be having, well, of course, National Night's coming out. We're going to have a table at the Gulf Maine District Summerfest too, just to have a presence there also. And then, of course, Lions Club hearing and retinal screening, that is open to everyone. Anyone who wants to come for that can come for that. It's not listed as seniors, isn't that right, Maureen?
Right.
Okay, right. And then, of course, we have Indian Cultural Day and Pakistan Cultural Day coming up later this month, too. And then we'll talk about September events at our next meeting, because they'll be coming around, too. By the way, Susan wasn't able to hear. Did she have any announcements, Liz?
Just wanted to remind everyone that the property tax bills are due August 1st.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, by the day,
Okay. What about, oh yeah, I did want to mention also the compensation study. So there are provisions for conducting this involve sending out surveys to 30 recipients who are government agencies that are similar to ours, and they determine who's similar by looking at like 10 different factors. So we sent those out to, I think 31 or 32 actually, as it turned out. Unfortunately, only 9 have responded. So they have 10 days to respond, so I sent out a reminder. Hopefully we will get more responses so that we can get more information from which to have a study drawn. So I think that's all I have to say about that. Anyone else have any other announcements?
I just had one more thing, sorry, here. So we just recently completed that utility and sewer atlas project for the last couple of years we've been working on. I know my engineer, at some point, you're gonna have him come in and show the board the specifics of the project, the amount of work that went in, and then just kind of give everyone a summary of what took place to get that put together. Do you need me to set an agenda, or a place on the agenda, or send you something for him to be able to come up and do a presentation?
Sure. How long do you think it'll take?
Minutes?
Okay, all right. Is next month or?
I'll talk to him this week and I'll just send you an email.
All right, just send it to me, I just need to get it on the agenda. So, send it to me 3 days in advance is okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, if you have any handouts for us to put in the board packet about what it's going to be about too, that would be good also.
No problem. I think it's just, he wants to do a quick presentation.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
All right, so.
One thing I forgot.
Yes.
For anyone who has a family, don't forget the Maine Township family cookouts.
Oh,
I
yes.
didn't know about it until just now.
Oh, well, we've got a flyer there.
Right, August 21, Maine Township family cookout. Those family people out there.
So we hope everyone's place and it comes, and we're hoping our craft chefs will be grilling again and looking at Mike and Leader, and I think Sam is usually out there, and maybe Stephen Murray. I actually think he likes to cook. So
Oh, yeah, he's got the chef Steve.
he will wear his chefs out there.
So you call each other chef like the bear?
Yes, chef.
Kurt's in the if he wants to come. Soon to be family. Kurt's soon to be family.
All right, so, okay, this is the last thing before our closed session. All right, do I have a motion for the purpose of discussing appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, and dismissal of specific employees?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
We do anticipate that we'll have some matters to discuss when we return, but we will now go into closed session. All right. Okay, we are both back in open session. All right. Everyone ready? All right.
Yes.
So, all right, the next thing on our agenda is vote on hiring a part-time employee for Recovery Connection. Do you have a motion?
Yes, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to hire, for our conversations, Matt Ahowski, hope I spelled that, pronounced that right, as a part-time employee for Recovery Connection.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, oh, you gonna say something, Kelly?
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. Then make a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Okay, fine, thank you very much. All right, now, vote on creation of new part-time position. So, we are hoping to create a new position for, a part-time position for the clerk's office. And this would be a position that would, again, do all types of things that the clerk's office does, and would work during regular business hours, but with hopefully with the intention of allowing us to move toward having one night a week open with the additional staffing. So we do not have a particular person to fill this position yet. Tonight, we are just creating a part-time position. So do I have a motion to create a part-time position that is up to 19 hours a week for the clerk's office?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? All right, not hearing any. May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
I'll abstain.
No.
What's on the list?
Okay, it's got to vote on the new position. Creation of new part-time position. But if you want to abstain, you can certainly abstain.
It's on the list, so, but it's fine, I'll vote yes on it. Yes.
Okay, now you're abstaining, is that right?
No, it's yes.
Oh, yes.
I'll vote yes, it's on.
Okay.
It's on.
Okay, all right, fine, great. I have one other thing I wanted to share with you, which I just got today. I'm going to pass this out. And this was in the suggestion box, which I usually look at in the afternoon, just before the board meeting. And I think we briefly discussed this once before after the surveys came in. And this says, I think, please bring back half-days. Thank you. After the surveys came in, someone mentioned this in their survey response, and I said to the new board members, what's a half-day? And the answer I got was, I don't know what a half-day is. And then I asked you, Kim, I believe, and you, Pete, what's a half-day? And you both said, I don't know what a half-day is. So I'm not sure what these half-days are supposed to be.
I have a guess on that.
Yes?
It just gets 4 hours with no lunch.
4 hours with no lunch.
That's my guess. That's just a wild guess.
I didn't know you did.
Yeah, you're right. It's a interpretation.
Did you know that?
No? Not that I was ever aware of.
So I'm not sure what that refers to.
What, you know? Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know who put it in a suggestion box, but I think it might be before holiday, employees will have
let home
holiday.
A half day?
Okay, that makes sense.
They work just 4 hours?
So they were allowed to go home early because it was
But the Labor Day is Monday, Friday was half day before.
What?
Friday before the Monday off.
It was a holiday
was half
weekend.
day.
So every time you get a Monday off, and we have 13 holidays a year, you would also get a half day off?
Half day off, it was on Friday.
Even like before
Before
Columbus Day
holidays.
weekend? Or,
Every, yes.
Sounds like Cook County or
Because I
something
mean,
like that.
I
No,
can
we never
see
got that
like
in Cook County, I
a
can tell you that.
It was Attorney General or
the
something.
night before, but
Give me a
on
break.
Friday?
Yeah, I remember just a couple of, maybe before Christmas,
Right.
or on like Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Like
Right.
1 or 2 o'clock.
Because it's a holiday.
Yes.
Right, so it's like, what do you remember, Marty, a couple hours before
It'd
some
be like
major holidays?
Wednesday, before Thanksgiving, which would be on Thursday, they would close at like noon.
1 o'clock.
2 or something like that.
Yeah, or New Year's Eve.
Yeah, right, just.
Just 3
major
times.
holidays.
New Year's Eve, the day before Thanksgiving.
Okay, so is that what you remember half days
Yes.
being?
That makes sense.
All
They would
right.
just announce it.
But not the Friday before, no.
Okay. Okay, well, thanks for clearing that up, because that was a bit of a mystery. I never heard that term elsewhere.
Speaking of mysteries, what's Gale Golf Maine Park District Summerfest, 7 to 10?
It's the Golf Maine Summer Pet Fest.
We didn't talk about that in upcoming
We've
events.
been working with them regarding National Night Out. So they sort of reached out to us and said, would you like to have a table there? So, some information there. So we expect we will do that. I think they're open until midnight. I said, okay, but we're not staying until midnight. At least not that.
No.
So that's what that is.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone else have any other announcements or anything else you wanted to discuss?
I mentioned to Kim, Niles Chamber of Commerce has some good events that you and I have attended, and there's some real good ones coming up.
Yeah, do you remember any of them?
Yes, there's sorry. It's on my mind.
Well, that's
We should
okay.
get Kim on the, and Kelly and Asif on the email list. But no, that's okay.
You get the emails probably because you're a business yourself.
Yes, I do get the emails.
Okay,
So I'll be glad to share that with you guys.
Would you do that?
Sure.
If you would do that, I mean, you don't have to send it to me, but if you would send it to the other board members, that would be.
Because they're, that's, I want to say you and I are going to one on August 20th, she said, maybe, August 20th, it's a breakfast speech about,
Oh, wait, there's one about nonprofits.
yeah, okay. Yeah, and there's another one at Howard Street Inn too, that should be good too.
Yes.
Like fun as well.
Yes.
Very good.
What do you need?
Thank you.
Sure. And I'll try to get him on that list though. The events are good, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron's on the list.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Wait, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Meyer?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.